There's also 5 people waiting.
And we are live. Are we
Are
live?
we? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Are we live?
There we go. We have worked out YouTube streaming.
All right. I think all of that, it just took a while to actually get on board. All right. Let's get straight into it, Ultra.
Yes.
So, I haven't seen any of these leaks. You've got them for me. We're going to discuss them for a bit. I did post on Steam for some of the people that maybe have come through there that I would talk a little bit about WoW VR in this thing. But let's go over the leaks for this expansion first.
Yep. So,
What have you got?
basically, there's a lot to unpack here. So, what we're kind of looking at is our first screenshot today, and what that is. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't think you're ready.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen it.
So it is basically.
That's Alex Strasser.
That is Alex Strasser. So this was posted on MMO Champion. A lot of these were. From Scaleface. Apparently this is one of those long time leakers. Now this is a snippet from the trailer that we're probably going to see. But there was speculation.
Yeah, sure, this looks like concept art. Look at that wing.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people that
Well, this is zoomed in from very far away.
Yes, so
this is a background of something.
He mentioned that down here at the bottom that the images are full of IDs, which is easy to discover a source. That is all. So yeah, we're going. So he had to basically destroy the image for it to be, spread out on the internet. So yeah, but that's something. But you can see why I mentioned before we started that that this was something that looked a lot like Heroes of the Storm style art, but at the same time, you kind of look at it and you're like, you don't know what Blizzard's art direction's going in now that we've experienced the afterlife, I guess. But yeah, it's I want to know who that person standing right there is.
I'll say this: the at the bottom, the stone structure you got there on the bottom right, you got that carving.
Yeah.
In the stone structure, kind of looks like the carving that goes around the Remwest Temple in stone. Just similar sort of design that you've got a big flat platform raised up, and you got stone carving around it. Other than that, it doesn't resemble Remwest Temple, but I just want to see Remwest Temple. It's on the bingo card.
True. Speaking of the bingo card, this is we'll show that now. So we've actually made a bingo card here. Wrath of the Burning Dragon, Lands of Draenor.
That's it.
Puffy's very proud of that one.
All right. I think the most boring one here, but one that's curious to me, is Microsoft. Will they mention the Microsoft thing? Will Microsoft be spoken about? Will they say, hey, we're still the same old WoW, just owned by Microsoft? I don't know.
Yeah, are we gonna see Phil Spencer come out and announce the expansion?
That would be bizarre.
That would be something else, man.
So I'll go over them really quickly.
Yep.
Illidan, ? Westfall Giant Shell. This one's interesting. This is from the beta of WoW. The side of Westfall's shore had all these giant shells, and you can find these pre-models of it, and that had some relation to the dragon people originally, and then they cut that from the game. So maybe we'll see that brought back. WoW VR? I don't know. I have to add it in there. Maybe they'll have something. Alex Strasser is back. Well, just saw that screenshot, so I think I got bingo immediately there. Remwest Temple cinematic. I would love to see a CGI Remwest Temple. Curveball. I mean, this is a no-brainer. They'll give us a curveball in some regard. Whatlock Classic. Will they mention that? I think so. Maybe.
They're due for it, so.
Mobile game. Will they mention that?
So the
Thrall?
expected thing for the mobile game is that that's going to pop up more in May. Whether or not they're going to mention it at all is going to be another thing.
Yep.
So.
Thrall involved. I mean, Metzen's no longer part of the team, so they're not constantly trying to put Thrall everywhere. But he's quite, entwined with the Dragonflight. So if it is dragons, it would make sense for him to come back in some regard. A time skip. Because of Shadowlands, it makes sense for there to be a time skip. Dragon Isles, alternate timeline, like a WoD 2.0. This is what Ultra was saying. A lot of the Dragonflight have died. So how do you bring them back? The same way they brought back so many other people, like Gul'dan, in an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Emerald Dream. Oh, Ultra wants to see more Emerald Dream.
The always Emerald Dream. Until they give us a solid Emerald Dream, I will not be satisfied.
Dragon People. Dragon People.
Dragon
People. Playable race. I don't know. Sargeras' sword. It's still there. It's sort of just forgotten about.
Yep.
Mentioning it, something to do with it, don't know. That's our bingo.
Other dragons all going to band together, rope them down, and lift the sword up. Plant this seed that the Ardenweald people gave us.
Okay, what's your next picture? I don't know what the rest are.
All right, so next up is a simple image, basically, that is going over like a leak that was found on Reddit. So this is one of the higher rated leaks that was about the Invoker class, range DPS.
I spoke to you about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's a range DPS and healing, and it uses healing via red dragons. You got the Dragon Isles, 4 zones in total. Don't know how I feel about that. If they're big, that's fine. But if not, then that's a bit of a shame. One completely covered in ice and snow. Beware of what lies frozen under the ice. So, who knows what that means?
Zara is a reluctant ally. That seems like her character.
Yep. Rathian is not Rathian. I believe that. There is a Scarlet Crusade dungeon featuring Kalia Menethal's trans son. Hence the confusion about 8.3 books saying she has a son and us knowing she has a daughter. You hear a lot about during the presentation on Tuesday. Okay. Uldaz's house is the only tool powerful enough to usher Void Lords. Not Rathian has keen interest in this tool. So this is more like digging into the story. But
player housing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. The and they wrote
a Windrunner bites the dust.
Yeah.
A Windrunner.
Player housing is in. I do not think we'll see player housing. It gets asked for every single expansion. I don't think we'll.
I don't know if people want it anymore.
Yeah, after Garrisons, yeah, that was a bit of a
Black market auction house rework, yeah.
Yep, they totally need to do that because
definitely.
They're
not sure if that'll be in the announcement though.
Well, it depends how deep dive they go. We'll find out who's trying to kill Chromie in the Deaths of Chromie scenario. Hint: people won't like it. Don't know who that could be. I genuinely don't know who that could be. There is a focus on cinematics in Dragonflight. They want more people. They want more content people can react to online. React to videos is a good way to get attention to your game. Note in-game cinematics. Okay? That's all, folks. Happy Easter.
Okay.
So, Interesting bit there. Here we see,
I saw this ages ago.
yeah,
I don't think this has any standing. One, because they have stopped doing their. If this is supposed to be like loading screen like, and because the artwork goes over the borders there, that's pretty loading screen like to me.
yep,
Because of that, they don't do 4x3 anymore. They used to for a while. Now they only do this type of artwork in widescreen. That is the first thing that I noticed of this. The second thing is that all these prints are wildly different contrasts. The photo wouldn't. You see that one at the top and the one at the bottom. You wouldn't have that difference in brightness unless they printed off two different versions. I think there's some trickery happening there. Those are my thoughts.
It could even be a piece that was done, pre-Shadowlands as a concept. Where this came from, that's a terrific question. Don't know. No one knows where these leaks come from, so it's always a hidden person. Otherwise, if those people got called out, then yeah. So
no longer in the industry ever again.
Yeah. So basically, this next one is a direct certificate for the product ID for WoW Dragonflight. So it is probably going to be Dragonflight, as much as we think Curveball to some extent. Yeah, I think we're
Certificate leak. Now, mind you, they grab up all of these kind of like copywriting names. They grab up as much as they can,
But to put base pre-perch, heroic pre-perch, and epic pre-perch, that's
yeah, that would have to be deliberate if it's not true. Deliberately, screwing over people. So
yeah. And then we also see here this is it's pretty hard to see, but this is all the URL registrations, all that kind of stuff, which, like you said, always gets registered. This is more ripped from the actual website. So apparently at one stage you were able to inspect on any of World of Warcraft's pages, and you could see texts going for Dragonflight. I did try that out, but I think when I did it, they had removed it.
Probably.
But I was still getting a response back because of Hearthstone. So, yeah. This next one is a very short and sweet explanation what they might see us. So, Alpha, Rathian, Alexstrasza, Turalian, Illyria. Dragon Factions is Black is default. Northern EK redone. Lordaeron, Turalian, and Kalia. This is just really quick little dot points. Class cosmetics, 5 zones planned, not 4 like that other one said.
Northern EK, you're talking about
Silver Moon and
Silver Moon.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Now Life and Death. Cosmic Forces was Order and Disorder. Soon Light and Shadow. So whatever this but the thing is, this guy's join date was April 2022.
I don't want this fluff.
Yeah.
Nah. Might be interesting. But.
So this here, it's a little hard to read, but this here is the...
Summarize it for me.
Long story short, this is the script for the cinematic.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does it start? We'll see if it's right or not.
We open on a cinematic shot of the ruins of Lordaeron and the huge scar running across Tristfall. Sad piano music is playing. Alexstrasza narrates.
War has left the scars upon this world.
Cut to a shot of crumbling Darnassus covered in ashes. I don't want to read this entire thing. If this is true, that sounds pretty lit.
Okay, I don't want Dragonflight, but they're gonna pull me in if they have Alexstrasza fucking narrating. So
yeah, so the That's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Over here we have this is a little bit off topic to the expansion, but more into 9.2.5. So apparently that's going to be released May 10th, which is really, really, really soon. Shadowlands races are playable in 9.2.5, but instead of being unlocked to create, once you finish the Covenant campaign, get 80 renown, fully upgrade your Sanctum, and go through a quest line to have your character become your Covenant race. Right. Kyrian questline mentioned you going through all the Trials of Ascension, mentioned having a racial ability that's basically a flying version of the Running Wild. They don't go into detail on others. Mentioned to not need a pre-order for Dragonflight. As for Dragonflight, from what I can tell, is that dude who leaked it back in Feb was legit. Won't go over shit from that leak again. We'll just expand on it. So, yeah. This is you got micro classes he mentions. Any class can unlock micro classes, but you won't be able to just share your gear if you're a mage with a Dragon Knight. Wait, with Dragon Knight, you will get a full set of gear completing the quest through that. Micro classes.
Dragon Knight.
Yikes.
That might be in the lore, Dragon Knights. I think it is, but I just don't like the name.
Yeah, it's a bit tacky.
Okay.
And then lastly, that is our bingo card. So if we look at the bingo card now, so Illidan, like, this is just based off the leaks.
First, I have something WoW VR related to mention. Can you go back 2 tabs? Thank you very much. Oh wait, go back another tab. What was it? Was it the previous tab? No. Go back to the script one. Yes, so this reminded me that one WoW VR project that I never finished was inspired by the 360 video that they released when the WoW movie came out. Do you remember that?
Yep.
You're on the Griffin and it's flying over Stormwind.
Yeah.
Don't know why they only did 360 and not 360 3D, because that would have made a huge difference. Lost opportunity, very silly. Anyway, I was working in Unity for a full map of Northrend, but low quality, so you could view it from the air, and you would have the option of riding on one of the sky ships, whatever they're called, I can't remember the names now, or riding on the back of Alexstrasza, because that'd be freaking cool. And so now I'm thinking, wow, I should probably revitalize that.
Yeah.
Maybe as a VR chat map. And like, it's just Alexstrasza flying around over Northrend on a loop, and people are just standing on her back in VR chat. That'd be sick, and it would be relevant if all of this is true. So that's what's come to mind.
There is a lot that is confirming that this might actually be true, and that's surprising this much detail came out. That's the only reason why I'm a little suspicious. When Shadowlands got leaked, it was like 3 things, and it was so minimal, we didn't know much. This seems like the whole thing is out there, like, but what's actually true?
How long until the
if we go look over, we have 7 minutes till it starts, so you can see the chat on there going absolutely crazy.
Wild. Yes.
There's no point even like reading any of what's going in there. Oh, it's only going wild because I had it tabbed out. That's a weird thing that YouTube chat does. So if you tab out, it'll back it all up and then just shoot it all off.
Yeah, and then it goes into slow mode again for you.
Yeah.
So what we were speaking about before, do you remember that?
Which part?
What was it?
The WoW VR map?
No. Before we started streaming, um, about how short this is going to be. I think this is going to be a quick stream.
True.
I think they don't want to have too much exposure. You know, Blizzard has had a lot of issues as of late. I think they're just gonna throw cool cinematic after cool cinematic after cool detail with us and then end.
Yep.
So it's probably going to be a lot to take in. I don't think there's going to be any slow talking on stage for a while. I think it's in their best interest to not do that, and I think they know that. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be good.
That's good. It's gonna be good. We've got 5 minutes till start. I suppose any big hopes to see? The biggest one.
Gelb and Mecha talked.
Mecha talked. The revival of the Gnome expansion.
The Gnome expansion. Get Gnome going, man.
The Gnome.
We take it. Everything else is gone.
True.
For this expansion, for the Gnome expansion, they've actually temporarily, just for 10.0 through to 11.0, they have removed the Horde faction from the game, and so only Alliance players can play. And it's just about retaking Overgo. That's the rest of the game.
I like it. I think if I saw that, I actually would probably be actually pretty excited. Not versus like I feel like reading these leaks for this, I feel already so underwhelmed. But it's probably going to be really good. And it's just the idea of dragons
you
again.
You missed those photos, those dragon photos.
Missed those dragon photos?
That one on the character creation screen.
I didn't put those up for a particular reason because they might actually be real. But I mean, I can throw them up.
Well, that one on the character creation screen, here's the thing. When you first go to create your Worgen, it's standing in that location rather than the Worgen part, right? And you've got that human in the background. Because yeah, exactly like this. Yeah. I think this is the Worgen character creation, and they've just slapped this on.
The one of
the other one got removed.
The other one got removed. Wow. So it might actually be real.
I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want just another Worgen where you play as a human, but you can shapeshift into the dragon people. No. Don't give me another human character. We already have that. Just, if we're going to be dragon people 100% of the time. That's what I don't like about this screenshot here.
But you look at that screenshot, right, and you're like, you know, you've got no clothes whatsoever. At least with the Worgen ones you did.
That makes sense. I think this is just the default skin. And they just don't have anything on it yet.
Yeah. I think that color is really underwhelming though. Like that one in the other...
If that's the playable race, if that's what they look like, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be sad. It's gonna upset me.
I think I don't mind at all until you get from the neck up and you see that face. It might just be that angle. But holy shit. They look so stupid. Fun factor, someone picked up with this that it's actually sharing the same structure as the new Incubus that the Warlocks use.
Oh, okay.
So it matches like 1 for 1. So yep. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Same bones. Um, I'll say this: when the pandas were released, I thought they looked stupid, and then they grew on me. So
True.
we'll see.
And also, I don't know if we'll see differences between male and female as well. Like when I saw that just then, that was on female. Do we see maybe bulkier dragons from like? But what's the purpose of the dragon form? You know, like it.
Don't give me the damn dragon form. Either you're a dragon or you're not. I don't want that.
Yeah,
That's
but what about things like Alex Strasser or whatever? How they can have human forms?
Don't remind me. It makes sense for that to be now. I don't want it.
All right, premiere will begin short. Oh, it's a premiere. Oh, right, because they
This is not live.
yeah, it's obviously not a live stream.
There's no one there.
Yeah, this video exists already. So as soon as that starts, we'll be smacking that onto full screen. It's happening.
And their mounts are just gonna be four-legged dragons.
Oh, I didn't even think about the mounts. Well, no, you'd just do like what the Worgens do, how they like lean over, and then you become the dragon that you can fly and run and stuff. You won't need a mount.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that's what it will be.
Oh, right. Dude, Moonguard's gonna have a... Yep. Oh, it starts... Yeah, see, I told you this was gonna happen.
Okay. That's good because I'm not quite ready yet. I'm annoyed.
There we go. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is gonna be something else. Also, I don't know why, but I think during this stream my activate windows popped up on the top bottom right. The thing is, I have a key, so I don't know why that popped up, especially now.
I don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it? Cool. The stream does. I promise you, I have a legitimate copy of Windows. That is the truth. There's a lot of things I could lie about there, but that is the truth. Ooh.
Alright.
Alright.
We've seen all this artwork before.
Let's make sure we're on the top quality. There we are.
Get it off the auto so it doesn't switch for you. Yeah. Do you know what this is? These are the paintings.
These are the original paintings, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll show that other painting that they removed recently. Ah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, they're just going straight into it.
Okay, and so what do you want?
I want Mists of Pandaria 2. Where it's all focused on being a farming simulator. The first WoW expansion with no raids. No, but really, I'd want to see... I would have liked to see something more with, you know, the Dreadlords. We finally get to see them and interact with them in the game. That would have been cool. They probably still could be affiliated with this. We've seen the expansions do full 180s before. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I would have liked to see something about the Dreadlords. But you know.
So, for anyone who does watch this, and maybe is not big on WoW, just know that this this game is definitely part of our lives.
Oh
And
yeah.
So if our reactions are emotional, it's genuine.
Oh yeah. They could just end it right there, and then announce classic, and then continue.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this supposed to be Dalaran?
No, that's old artwork of Khadgar's.
I was about to
tower,
say,
I believe.
I don't think I actually have seen that one.
No?
Ah, they chose the best song. Out of all Cataclysm, this was the best song.
Oh, I really like the Goblin theme song.
Ah, yeah, true.
There we go. There's Thrall. I think we're gonna see. I'd be happy to see Thrall again. It's been a while.
Sort of. I mean, in Shadowlands,
I-
you get to see him interact with his mother, so...
Yeah, that's nice.
Ah, the true war chief.
While we're on Cataclysm, hold on.
That is the perfect reaction to Cataclysm. I was
Looking at the
just saying.
Cataclysm art book.
I was just saying that is the perfect reaction to Cataclysm. While we're on Cataclysm,
And then I run away. I've got all this art in this book. I particularly like this, which is
ah, yep,
the new Stormwind artwork for. They're thinking, okay, how do we redo Stormwind?
Stormwind, yeah. Oh, they went lazy with Mop, man. They're just showing loading screens. No cool art. These are just BGs. Although in saying that, Mop had some of the best PvP the game's ever seen.
Yeah, it brought in that cart game.
Yeah, Deep Wind
The,
Gorge.
Yeah.
Look at that, Mop front and center. Look at that. They know.
I think it's just even.
Nah. They just know they had to put Mop in the middle.
Mm.
The superior expansion.
I'm thinking we should do a video at some point really detailing and going over what an official Blizzard released WoW VR would be and
Yeah.
how they could do it right. Because a lot of people say, oh, you couldn't do it, oh, you couldn't do it. Oh, you'd be standing in the fire, oh, you can't do the hotkeys, this and that and that. It would have to be its own thing. It wouldn't be you're playing World of Warcraft in VR.
Yeah.
It'd have to be its own game.
Like, how do you convert a tab targeting MMO into a like VR?
You don't.
Yeah.
Look at all the VR MMOs that are coming out. They're whenever they try to do that aspect of it, it fails.
Yeah. What was it called again? Zenith.
Zenith did an okay job. I'll definitely play it again.
I would 100% say with confidence that today's MMO design does not translate to VR whatsoever. And I feel like when I played Zenith, it was just not right. Nothing felt right.
Fair enough.
But like, what else can you do? That's also the other question. You've got...
Well, that's what I'm thinking. We should do this video. I think we have summed together some good knowledge to brainstorm how different mechanics and things would work for something like that, because it would make sense not just for WoW VR but any VR. break down what would actually work for it. I haven't seen that artwork of Surima. That was nice. Yeah, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Something for your viewers to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. The fight we never saw happen.
Are you going to cut this up into a highlights video as well?
Probably not, to be honest. Oh no, the generic loading screen.
Unless there's some pretty good highlights. We'll see.
Wait, is there room for one more dot? Oh, I mean 2 more dots? No, there isn't.
What was this expansion?
One we should all forget. It could have been so good, dude.
I think they were doing too much at the same time.
Yeah, like they could have...
It lost me. It was not... Legion, I knew what was happening. This, too many things are happening at the same time. They had all these different stories all happening together.
It did have good art though.
Oh yeah.
Except this one. I don't know,
Yeah,
I just really can't with Anduin.
They had Gelbin, so it was the best expansion ever, really.
I must say, Shadowlands, like, one of the reasons why I'm excited for this next one, or just any future WoW expansion, is always going to be the more they keep going, the better the art just keeps getting. And Shadowlands was definitely one of those that had really stunning areas.
What about the music? Was there any song that you like?
This one?
That was incredible. This one? Alright. This is WoW's 10th expansion, is it? Or 9th?
9th. Wait,
So is there...
let's real quick. BC, Wrath, Cataclysm, Mop, Warlords, Legion, BFA, Shadowlands, this. So we're missing one. So next...
So this is their 10th release, you could say.
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay. So they're gonna go straight into the cinematic. It's like, oh.
It's a bit quieter than that video we were testing.
We'll see how the actual stream is. Oh!
They know.
No way they showed. No way they showed.
For the Alliance!
What's her name for a second?
So it is going to be a full thing. They're not just going straight in.
Hey, have you got German subtitles?
I don't have any subtitles on. Oh, wait, I do.
For Azeroth!
I'll turn those
Yeah,
off.
you got German subtitles on, dude.
I don't know why it always does that. It just changes the language for some reason.
Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt,
Yeah,
General
look, it's
Manager
Ian.
for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian
WoW
Hausglasses,
Classic,
who
she's-
is the Game
she's
Director
there
for World
again.
of Warcraft, and
So, I
Holly
think-
Longdale, who leads up the
She's doing a
production
good
team
job.
for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening
But they
in
didn't
World of
fix the
Warcraft.
buff problem.
But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council. You've helped shape and influence the updates that we've done recently and what you're going to see in
That
the
is
upcoming
true.
year.
The retail game's
And really,
a lot
for
better
Shadowlands
now.
in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's
heard
shaped by
people
what
in the-
we've been hearing from them.
In the
And
council
us
say
realizing
that
as a team that we just collectively needed to do a better
nothing's
job
happened.
of making sure the
They haven't
community
really
felt
done
heard
anything.
And so that led us to the changes
It's just
we
a
made
bunch
in
of talking.
915.
Nothing's
Well,
been
But
resolved.
also really
Just what he said
re-examining some of
then,
the assumptions and foundations
like
of
a
World
lot
of
of
Warcraft
a lot of the
about
problems
things
people
like
have,
character investment and mains versus alts, or how
they
catch-up
just,
should work, or the appropriate role of
they've just
friction in our systems.
ticked off everything
And I
so
think
far.
915 represented a step
Okay, so they
in
haven't
the
started
direction
doing it
of
yet.
letting players
haven't
have more
added
freedom
anything.
to play World
They've
of Warcraft the way
adjusted
they
things.
want to play it.
Right.
And we really
right.
built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community
Sure.
said that influenced your decisions?
Did you feel
for
Eternity's End was
Things
a
like
different
the
content
method and pacing
altogether?
of acquisition of
A little
the Covenant
bit.
legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way,
It wasn't just
we
like
were
any other
listening
extra
to make
content?
sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned
No,
in
there's
the
a
course of
few
915
gimmicks here and there.
into
A lot of
Eternity's End and beyond.
puzzles, a lot of
So
you got
WoW
poke poke.
Classic was
Oh, here we
really
go.
came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as
Oh, did
Classic
they?
evolves.
No,
World of
it's
Warcraft
because there
has
was
always
private
been
servers and you wanted
about
the money.
the world and the players that inhabit
That's
it.
it.
And we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once
They
this
got the
classic
saturation
community
up on their
formed
video really high.
and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to
Yeah.
the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery round, which is
Oh,
a
yeah.
Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it
Yes.
and turned, what started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen
For a
communities
particular
built
audience,
around.
but-
Yeah.
Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah, and it continues. Like Burning Crusade Classic, we wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So, influence the community. You've got another update and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Oh no.
Yeah, cross-faction play.
Ah.
Coming in 925.
Yeah,
okay.
we already know about
Public
this.
test realm now.
It's not too
a big
controversial.
And cross faction. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
It would have been
Yeah, it's
5
it
years
was not
ago.
an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is another one of those areas where really we try to take to heart community feedback and requests and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire and still
thought of
feel
something
like
we
we're
didn't
being
have on the
true to
bingo.
to the roots of the game.
What was
players'
that?
desire to play with their
Nixia
friends
comes
who
back.
might prefer a different faction,
Oh,
or to play with the
true.
faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's about pride in one's faction. And I think there's a way to preserve that and even strengthen that while giving players
That's stretching
the
it a
ability to
bit.
make the same choice we've
Yeah.
seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation.
Yes.
And, we recognize this is kind of
I
a
do remember,
closing
like-
chapter, a little bit of a send-off
That's good.
to Shadowlands.
They're bringing all
As
of
everyone gets
the-
ready for what happens
all of
next,
the
what
old
will come
content
next.
together
Want to
and
give,
making it
a
all
fun challenge
relevant.
for everyone to
That's-
make a team.
Really
Mythic
cool
and
stuff
Nixia.
for
I
modern WoW
wish.
players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore, very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans of Azeroth
this
for a
how they're
long time.
announcing it?
This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore
Yeah,
of
this
WoW.
is-
So, without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
Oh god,
Oh.
here we go. Here we go.
Okay. Okay. Dragons, 10,000 years ago. Holy shit. Holy
The
shit.
world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you.
This is the dragon house for sure.
Is it?
Is this Storm Peaks?
Let the land slumber,
No.
hidden, even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then, you must light the beacon of Tearhold, lest the path home be lost to us
This is
forever.
Oh,
the most non-World of Warcraft cinematic we've seen so far.
yeah.
Not a bad thing. Ah, dang.
Oh, his friend. I just imagine seeing Deathwing pop up.
Okay. It's a very World of Warcraft door.
Are we riding off dragons?
No, that sounded like Alex Strasser. This is some Titan stuff, I think.
Yeah, this is all Titans. BFA 2.
They certainly have me enamored with what the crap is going on.
What the actual? Dude, what are we watching?
I don't know, but I'm about it.
I'm so confused. He's gonna sacrifice himself?
By the way, this is the figure that was standing in front of Alex Strasser in that lead scratch.
It's making Hearthstone cards legit.
Yeah, Alex Strasser's coming.
To save him?
Yeah.
Yo, yep, that is real. Oh my god.
But why doesn't it look good? They got a different art director on this cinematic.
The world is healing. But her fate is yet uncertain.
I think the guy just wants to get put down by now.
Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
So the Age of Mortals is finished.
The leaks were real. That, you know what that means? That means that race is real.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
No one saw it coming.
No one saw it coming. Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean, what did we just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until
You
now.
could have put
The
any other
beacon
video
going off.
game's
Is that
title on
summoning
that
the
cinematic.
dragons?
It is removing the
Yeah.
concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world,
That-
but also
The
beckoning
most
dragons
World of Warcraft
back
looking thing was
urgently
that door.
in a time of need.
I assume
It didn't even look
pretty
like
good
Alex
variety
Johnson.
of
probably.
locales within the Dragon Isles. It's
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of
Ooh.
5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is
What was
lush
that
and
cinematic,
primal,
too? That was
bursting
another
with
video
elemental
game
energy.
cinematic.
As Azeroth herself reawakens,
Such a waste
those
of
primal
talent.
forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the
I did
icy
like it.
wastes of the Azure Span. And
like
each one
this.
of those has a connection to a dragonflight that we've
Oh,
seen
Grizzly
before.
Hills too.
Yeah,
It's gonna be an
basically.
amazing place for players to arrive at and explore.
all right. You know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so
Can I be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight means for you as well as just a place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race, the Drakthir race.
Yeah.
This is a dragon and draconic race, but dragons in Warcraft have the ability to take on a humanoid form.
What classes can
Okay,
they be?
Alex
They
Johnson is
have
back.
unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't
Dragon
quite
Isles.
fit any of our
Dragon
existing
people.
classes.
Hang on.
And so what we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft and not just an allied race is something that we don't do lightly, but telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it. So if you are a Drakthir, you will be the Evoker class. Drakthir can only be Evokers, Evokers can only be Drakthir. And the reason why only a Drakthir could be an Evoker is that an Evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Drakthir has, the ability to actually take flight and do an Onyxia-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the other side.
So they can't be anything
knock
else.
everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a
Okay.
hybrid of either range DPS or healer. And they wear male armor. We
male
with
wearer.
the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee, we don't need more of those. And also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
The raid leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class. And so that means that, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
They have a cinematic
Can you
that
talk a little bit about the customization?
wasn't necessarily World of Warcraft.
It's going to be
though.
able to identify
They have a new
my
character
Drakthir
that
character.
could be in any game.
Basically anything and everything. Skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of your identity in Azeroth.
New zone, new class,
Yep.
new race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates. or
Oh, here we go.
features.
Here we go.
Of
Hang
course,
on.
the new expansion brings with it, new systems, new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on. And we've heard loud and clear from players that, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your
Come
progression
on.
behind. So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp and
So
the
no
arrival
major
of
system?
Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way. But also, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system avoids directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility hybrid
like.
choices, because we know that there's always a right outcome
Yep.
there. And we also understand
Looks good.
that there's a lot of strength in the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God.
UI, this is going to be interesting.
Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map, all my buffs, and over here, what's going on in chat. It has literally made my eyes go like this. So,
Yep, you're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp, this is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of
Holy shit.
World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Now, at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players, new and old alike.
I
can I
respect that.
reduce elements, remove elements? If I want to explore the
Whoa.
world and see the beauty of Azeroth.
That's very
Comes
Final
to
Fantasy.
Specific elements, as much as possible, we want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they can control it themselves.
You mentioned professions. I have a critical question about this.
Go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that, become a master crafter, be able to make items that are in demand, interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
I think we left out one thing, though. Be a Drakthir, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons if not soaring over the lands? And so we're really excited to introduce a feature that we're calling Dragon
dragon
Riding.
was riding a
It's
dragon.
dynamic with everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to just sort of build that speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So
Wow.
this is a skill
Flying
you
from the
learn
start.
over time, right? To become an awesome dragon
Very
rider.
not World of
Yes, you'll be able
Warcraft.
to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the Dragon Companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for mounts. This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. What do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your
Hey,
pick.
This is so cool.
that's great.
So the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles, which consists of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone for our Drakthir class, as well as a range of systems revamps, such as a new talent
The
system,
Tuskar
an
back.
overhaul and update to our UI, and
I
an
like that.
entirely fresh look at professions
Tuskar are my
with
favorite
more
race.
depth than ever before.
Maybe an allied race in the
Also
future.
getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of Dragon Riding, which lets
Dragon
you customize
riding.
and upgrade your own
So
mounts
that's-
so that you can fly in a sense from the start.
That's that
And
system.
of course, as with any new expansion,
Yep.
we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Oh,
Check
fuck
out our
you.
website for more
Why
information.
did you say
And keep
that?
an eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to help us test out Dragonflight and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around. Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you. You could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of Warcraft. Let's
my gosh.
watch the cinematic.
Oh, let's watch the cinematic. Oh, why not? Oh,
Watch what cinematic? Ultra? Watch what cinematic?
Did you think we had Nothing's just begun. Not my king yet.
Would you do this?
Just to say, come for you of your father, of your people, for all the lives you've stolen. My son,
the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas.
Wow, that was a lot better
When
than
my days
expected.
have come to an end, you shall be king.
This
This
year.
year! Yay!
Holy shit.
Yep,
It's just
I'm about it.
incredible, isn't it? Every time I see the cinematic, I get chills. No pun intended, I get chills. As you saw, Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from Wrath of the Lich King?
Anytime you want to talk about undead frozen dragons, how can you not go back to Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I
Okay.
played with my youngest son. So I can remember on that
All right, are you
platform,
happy about it
black
coming this
goo and
glad
chunks
I
of
got
ice
70.
falling off and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But when we finally downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He jumped up out of his room and I jumped up out of my office. We're like, yeah!
Yeah,
We
you
did it.
only got 4
So
things
it's a
on the
very
bingo so
lasting
far.
tale for me.
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight, so everyone will be able to make one.
We're excited to give players some time
What?
before
That's
Wrath of the Lich King
dangerous.
launches
That's really
to get geared up and
dangerous.
ready to jump
No.
into Northrend with everybody else.
And there are
Why'd they do
so
that?
many zones and areas to explore in Northrend, and I want us to talk about some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has a
Oh,
very special place in
course.
my heart. The music was some of the best I've experienced in World of Warcraft.
I still
Why-
make my way all
why
the way
let
up to
new
Storm
players
Peaks
be
to try and
DKs right
find
off
the
the bat?
time lost
Hang
Prodrick
on.
and have yet to get it.
I've got to say Dragonblight. The wide open nature of the zone, Wormrest Temple in the center of it, it's an unforgettable
Wormrest Temple.
expansion as both a developer and a player and kind of making that transition from one to the other.
Now let's talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we
Yes.
envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now, as people have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
That leads right into arena teams in Burning Crusade Classic. So we listened to the community and we removed that because individual rating is preferable and a better experience
so
for
they're not
them
having Dungeon
than
Finder
arena teams.
in
Also,
Warlock
with
Classic.
Wrath of the Lich King,
That's a good thing.
Barbershop, which allows you
Yeah.
to customize
Yeah.
your character. We're going to be adding a few
I'm
more
happy with that.
options.
Few more
that
options to the
were
barbershop?
Not existing when Wrath launched. But also there's another side of this where we are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do that just be available in game for gold and we add more options to it, right?
It's
Wow,
sort of
imagine
like
if they
spell batching
did
in a
that.
sense. There's a lot of technical advancements, and
know.
it's not about the philosophy
14
of what
years
makes
ago.
classic,
Wow.
what brings people together. It's just what's the better experience, and let's not artificially restrict something that we can provide a better version of just for the sake of nostalgia. And we're happy to say this is one of those cases.
So Wrath, the level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their
This is
friends
for
or
you.
just explore Northrend right away will be able to do that. You can't apply it to a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise. And of course,
can
we
apply it to
have
a Death Knight.
Inscription, a whole new profession, so we're really excited about that. Yeah, and as we continue
say
this
can or
road
can't?
to Wrath, we're going to be
Can.
looking to getting a lot more feedback on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Such an exciting time to be playing World of Warcraft. We have the return of the Wrath of the Lich King for classic fans and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring
have the
these
most
adventures
World of
to you.
Warcraft thing.
Don't forget, there's
you
a
have
deep
the least
dive
World of
on
Warcraft thing I've
Dragonflight.
ever
We're going to
seen.
get a lot more information. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
And we'll see you in Northrend.
And in the
That was
Dragon
their
Isles.
deep dive?
No.
Oh, now it starts. Okay.
Okay, this is what I'm interested in.
Hi there.
Hey.
Welcome to the Dragonflight
Shit.
Deep Dive. I'm Steve Denuser.
And I'm Taryn Gregory. Starting it off here,
What?
we're going to talk about the setting and the story of Dragonflight.
We've got this great expansion, exciting pre-render trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight, the Dragon Isles.
Dragon Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place where the dragons came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going
Please,
to this
cinematic
place
narrative.
that is kind of the
Your cinematic
broodlands of
was
all the
bad.
Dragonflights, the place where they
Different art
nested, where
style
they
to
built
anything
their
else.
civilization. The Dragon
It
Isles
wasn't World of
was
Warcraft.
the center of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal
Oh, yeah.
races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own. But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the explosion of the Well of Eternity, broke the world.
Literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth.
And because of
we
the
know
breaking
this.
of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the
We know all this,
pre-render,
buddy.
they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home and reestablish their kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones.
Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects once again, and for Alex Straza and the others to come home. But the land has changed a lot in all these thousands of years they've been away, and some very old threats have awakened as
Aspects
well.
aren't a thing.
Looking into
They
the
don't have
culture
power?
of dragons as they exist in Warcraft.
Dragons, as we know them today, were very different in
Cataclysm,
the
it says
early
now
past,
the
the
era
early
of,
history of
mortals.
Azeroth. They were
And they
much
all
more
lost their
primitive,
glowing
much more
eyes.
savage. What we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze flight, black flight, each with unique powers, each with the ability to protect the world in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good, in the case of most of the aspects, but also for nefarious reasons in the case of the Black Dragonflight led by Neltharion, who would become Deathwing.
And what we will find in Dragonflight is that some of these ancient divisions run deep. And so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were.
To do that, they're going to
Are they
need the
gonna
help
mention
of our
how they're
heroes, our
backwards?
players, to
How
come
they
to
what?
the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening
they gonna
challenges.
mention how
Because
they're back?
it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim it. There's those old enemies that have awakened as well.
Yeah.
One of those being a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jarradin.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by dragons or just by the Jarradin. There's also many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles that have been here either just
Okay.
recently or for a while, including a
lot of
fan
reskins.
favorite coming back, the Tuskar.
That's going to be awesome. We've got other
Yay!
cultures there as well in the Dragon Isles. We're going to find out about
Shalas.
a civilization of centaurs that predates the ones that arose on Kalimdor much later,
And some of our favorite
still
characters
alive.
that we've seen over the last few expansions, such as Rathian.
and whether he's ready to step up into a leadership role, or if there are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the
Rathian is
aspect
not
of the Black
Rathian.
Dragonfly.
I think one thing the players are going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race, the Drakthir.
That's right.
And this
is my
is
least
something
favorite.
that
What do you
Neltharion,
think about
before he was Deathwing, before he went full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion.
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so, in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to create the ideal soldier in his mind, the Drakthir. Exploration is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve
looks
into
pretty.
and find little treasures and little
Yep.
secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot of fun for players to be exploring these
What do you think of the
landscapes.
playable
And
race?
there's so much architectural history and how
I don't know.
clearly aspirational was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the themes of trying to return to that, to try to find your legacy, to try to figure out who you were before everything went awry.
They're showing
But
the
there's
part where they
questions, thematic
all their-
questions of What does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons just like the mortal kingdoms have had to. And I think that's one of the reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped us in the past too. So by using the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
And when I look, upon the Dragon Isles in all of its visual splendor, I get so excited for the prospect of a truly Azerothian adventure alongside Caligos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with Ysera's daughter Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flight.
But he's dead, isn't he?
I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within this world.
There's going to be old stories from that time past, that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gary.
And we're part of the teams that are building the first two zones that you'll encounter in the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shore and the Onaran Plains. The very first zone in Dragonflight you're going to come to is the Waking Shores.
Oh, cool.
It's wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too, and the elements are just going crazy.
The art team again has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragons swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's flying around.
The one of the things I love is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're gonna get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and the first thing you do is sail between like the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love PvP, this is a great opportunity for war mode.
Sure. It's free for all out there. It's gonna be great. But it's okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach, so that if you're in that situation and you don't want to be in war mode anymore, you can just hop out right there.
Yeah.
The Reliquary and the Explorers League are working together.
The Horde and Alliance are sending an expedition together. It's not the military, it's not the soldiers. This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring this new land. So it's a lot more optimistic tone.
One of my favorite things about the Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led by Queen Alstraza, the Lifebinder. They have the mandate of
what you just saw then, that was that one from that
life,
poster.
which means Horde and Alliance, Gorloks,
but not
Trolls,
in
everybody. So they take that duty seriously. When the Horde and the Alliance come to the Waking Shores, they want to be there to help guide the people through the new land and welcome them. But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the Black Dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's gonna try and come to terms with the state of the Dragonflight, which is a few loyal Draconids and Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon Isles, but also their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jarden so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma, and when the Waking Shores and the Dragon Isles went to slumber, they also slumbered. They're back now, and they are ready to raise chaos.
Yeah, they're massive. They're riding giant lava mammoths, parading around, just stomping on your face.
And they were the enemies of the Dragonflight for so long. They fought against the Red Dragonflight, hunted dragons down, and they're really taking this opportunity to rise up. As the Red Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life, they don't want to just stomp out the Jarden completely, but they want to make sure that they don't have the power to affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't go on a rampage and destroy the ecosystem that has been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore, but Seth, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
What?
This is true. Ducks.
We finally have those webbed feet hooligans in our game. We cracked the technology. We've got them.
Figure it out. They can fly.
You should be proud.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome.
The Onaran Plains come right after the Waking Shores. It's so breathtaking at first glance.
The Onaran Plains are big, wide open plains. And the player is going to be constricted a little bit, and then you see this big contrast of a zone. We don't always get that opportunity, that cinematic moment where the player can have a framed view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard shot of the plains. And then you see this giant
kinda
fire
bland
proto
looking.
dragon breathing fire, and
pretty-
a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto dragon,
Like, that
crash
was
into the ground. And the first
boring.
thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Who is Onara?
Onara is the wild god of the wind. And she's appeared before as like this big spirit eagle. She's the one who guided the centaur to the Dragon Isles many, many years ago. She blessed them, took their caravan across, and then showed them the plains.
How fun at the beginning of this expansion was exploring the culture of the centaur.
The centaur are these mighty, awesome hunters that back when they first came to the
Just
Dragon
don't make them a
Isles, they
playable
fought the green
race.
dragons all day long. Eventually they realized that we're strong, you're strong.
would've told
Maybe
us.
we should stop decimating each
No,
other's
but like
people.
allied race or something.
We'll make peace, we'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves, and the centaur will hang out in the plains. But now, the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so far since then. And they've been here, and they've been existing and developing their culture. They all came over as one clan, led by the mighty Maruk and Tira, and they founded a new life here. So if you want to get across, you have to follow their rules and their traditions. You have to earn their trust. You are the first outsiders to come in generations upon generations.
Okay,
The
so they're
centaur
not
might
enemies.
rule
That's
the open
interesting.
plains, but the green dragons make their home in the groves. And those groves are absolutely gorgeous.
And how great a job it is that we have where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy. We want to do lots of things with an open plane, and we want to be creative with
saying
that.
high fantasy.
But we're
What-
restraining
Yeah, what does that
ourselves
mean?
by letting the zone sing, letting the
Well, I know what it means,
horizon
but
tell
not
the
in
story.
regards to what
we
they're
certainly
showing
couldn't have done that in Vanilla WoW.
No, definitely not. The zones are so big, and you can see so far, especially in Onaran Plains. So we talked to the engineers, and we actually increased that distance.
It spurs you on to want to adventure
Increase
and
your
look through the
distance.
zone and explore everything.
The interesting thing for me is we have
Probably a
all
little
these
bit.
conflicts with the dragonflights. There's missing dragons, there's battles, there's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all we're doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do. And the greatest thing is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on and
It's probably
help solve
only
all the
increased view
problems that are
distance
just
in
sprouting
that
up
zone.
everywhere.
Yeah.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now we're going to have some folks talking about the
Doesn't
next
seem
two
very grounded
zones
in
that
Azeroth.
players are going to experience in the Dragon Isles.
The next two zones. So that 4 zone was real.
Yeah.
Azure Span.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate.
I'm Christy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Valdrassus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the third zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done
Oh,
in
yeah, I like this
Dragonflight, maybe even to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual elevation change, and it really started with this great concept art. When we first were taking a look at the design, we kept coming back to one of our favorite Wrath zones, which
Okay,
was
well, VR
Grizzly
home.
Hills. And we really wanted to
You can
take
really
that,
tell
but
it's inspired
wowify
by-
it more. And I don't know if you've ever been up to the
Yep.
Bay Area, but in the morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods, and that sun shines through. That's really what we wanted to encapsulate with this forest. And not only we have redwoods, but we've got all different types of trees. Eventually, it'll break open into this wide
Yep.
open tundra that's just
Yep.
golden
Make
and
me
red,
lost
and
there.
you'll reach up to another
it.
level of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in snow and ice. We have giant frozen waterfalls, ice rivers as far as the eye can see. And Sean, I know in the forest, we can
Wow.
expect our first creatures.
We have a small group that lives there called the Gnolls. These Gnolls are all throughout the forest in Azure Span. They've made this their home. Some Gnolls with strange
Oh,
magic
wow.
that we're going to find
What the
out
hell
what
is
exactly
that?
that's about.
That's a
Snow
gnoll?
Gnolls, or as I call them, the Snolls, up in the winter area, and then some regular Gnolls that are just going to be around the forest area. So then we go into the big open tundra
changed up the
where
Gnolls a
we
bit,
meet
even
our
after they
second
change
group,
up
again.
the Tuskar.
It's going to be really neat to explore their culture a lot more.
And those kids are adorable. I absolutely love the
They have
Tuskar. Honestly, all my downtime's probably just me hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since you've seen them. We remember the Tuskar from Wrath of the Lich King. They're also getting a
Yeah,
nice,
they
cool
did.
upres for their models, along with expanding their culture. So there are going to be male Tuskar, female Tuskar, Tuskar kids. So we're going to fight alongside them, which includes help from certain group of dragons, the blue
I'm gonna
dragons. We're
exalt
going to follow the story of
their asses
Kalagos,
so hard
our
on
blue
my
dragon buddy from the Kirin Tor, and he's
I
going to
thought
be
he died,
adventuring
but I guess he
into
didn't.
Sindragos' archives. It's a giant zone. There's a lot of
It's that
surprises.
other
When
Kirin
we're done
Tor
there,
guy
we
that
head
wasn't
over
a dragon
to
that
Valdrazes.
Valdrazes. It's
It was
really
also kind of
incredible
blue.
because you will be going through some of the previous zones and seeing a lot of ruins for the dragon buildings. But when you get to Valdrazes, everything is perfectly intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all 5 dragon flights and home of the dragons. It feels that way with the huge vertical mountains.
Legion
We've got
looking.
these
Yeah.
great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in Valdrazes, and their magic is time. There's so many cool story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options. And we have a little bit of an adventure for players. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. We really wanted it to feel like their old stomping grounds. One of the really cool features is going to be the main city and player hub for this
Yes.
expansion, Valdraken. It is a culmination of all of the
why
dragons'
is it so
efforts
dark?
to put together what a city would look like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you see that the blue dragonflight is hosting a
it so
public
dark and
library,
muddy?
and the red and green dragonflights both have
this
their
is
own separate
some parts
gardens.
are
We'll
nice.
also have some convenient services for players, including an auction house in the city, which will be really nice if you're looking
What
for
is
more
their
exotic
frame rate?
players.
Did you notice
The
that?
thing that really sold me on Valdrazes was the initial concept art we got of
Definitely a wow
Tierhold.
city if they drop
Wow.
frames.
And this is a 10,000-year-old Titan technological marvel. Tierhold has these awesome aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings.
I don't like
So
this
when players are
cinematic
flying around
ultra.
themselves,
I don't
they
like
get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place and filled with so much history.
Tierhold was
mentioned
built
Shadowlands
by
once.
Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper
They're
back in
just
the
gonna
day who
ignore
helped the Aspects fight
We're just gonna
Galakond.
go here.
And when they settled on the Dragon Isles,
It's
he
a
built
bad
this
way to end your
facility.
expansion.
And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in
It's not
reverence.
finished.
But that was 10,000 years ago, and they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Flights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals, aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do. So much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical, and I'm just excited to dive off the tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
Oh, we're gonna have a mini game where you're flying through rings, Ultra.
Hi,
We're gonna
I'm
fly
Jake.
through rings.
I'm Andy.
I'm
We're
Colin.
gonna fly
And I'm
through
Graham, and I'm really
rings.
excited to talk to you guys today about the Drakthir Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also dragon riding, which is our exciting expression into the exploration of the Dragon Isles.
I like the
We
dragon.
knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted to let you play a dragon. Not a big dragon, Alexstrasza size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake. Okay. I know.
Fine.
But a draconic humanoid. So the Drakthir, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero classes, you get to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side on character creation.
So let's talk a little bit about the Evoker, the class they can be. What's unique about it is because the Drakthir are created by an aspect, they have the ability
Wait,
to
you
wield
just
the
get to
magic
pick
of
it
all
on
5
character
dragonflights.
creation?
So Evokers can take advantage of
Sorry,
red
look
magic,
what they
blue
did to
magic, and bronze
Pandorans.
magic.
And to show that, we created a visual,
A
what we
much
call
more
a
natural
prismatic
way of
effect.
picking
This prismatic
Order
effect is
Alliance.
basically the coalescence of all their energy as they channel it into whatever spell that they're going to cast.
This
You
seems
have a
kinda
red
lazy.
magic spell called Pyre. So when you shoot it out of your mouth, it twirls in the air with all 5 of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the red spell before landing on your enemies and exploding and hopefully burning them. And
I'll take that one.
Getting that vibe across that they use all 5 was really important to us, but we did want to make sure that each specialization focused on 2, because casting 5 different colors gets a bit messy. So their damage dealer specialization, their first of 2, Devastation, mostly focuses on red and blue magic. Red being very fast and explosive, burning everything with Pyre. whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy in front of you.
There's a healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly on your green and your bronze magics. So your green is going to be evocative of the Emerald Dream, your growth and your nurturing spells. And then you have your bronze magic, which is going to be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation, which all make you feel very powerful, we really wanted the player to have a physical connection to the cast. We have a new type of spell called Empower, where when you actually hold down the button on your keyboard, it charges up the spell.
It charges up the spell by holding down the key?
Or targets depending on the spell, but it gives you this really physical connection and control that's new for World of Warcraft, and I think is feeling really, really good.
We have some great animations. Thank you, Andy. Your team.
Love it, Andy.
You feel physical when you're casting your spells.
You can actually fly around the battlefield and cast while you're flying.
Raining fire and death from above. It's great.
In addition to the gameplay, though, another part of feeling draconic is looking like a dragon.
Well, we talk about dragons breathing fire, but you know what's actually fire?
What's actually
These
fire?
customizations.
Oh my goodness.
But no, they're really, really
They're
cool.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic form and your humanoid form. And the customization options for both of them are amazing.
They're very good.
What about color? Just tell me you
tell
can
us about the
change
colors.
color.
You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Drakthir form.
But my favorite, super favorite
don't
part
like it.
of customization
don't
for
like
the
it.
Visage form, hair.
I don't know why, but I've just got
Because I can actually do this in game.
The deck is here.
We finally did it.
As players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon Isles, they'll partner up with the Dragonflights to move through the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying, because flight has a very specific meaning for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it does.
And we're talking about something new called dragon riding.
And as the players are honing their dragon riding skills, they're going to get to see all new animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
We're aiming to shake up movement with this new system, providing players with a deeper immersion with forces like momentum and gravity.
We knew that for Dragonflight, we were going to have the opportunity to show players a whole new set of Dragon Isle drakes, completely unique from all the other things they've seen in World of Warcraft. And so we wanted to come up with a movement system that would add that sense of
bit more
physics,
complicated
weight,
than a
and gravity,
Goblin
like you were
Glide.
mentioning. We knew it was going to take a huge team effort, not just animation, but it was going to take effects. It was going to take the engineering team, who we rely on heavily, and that combined with some new animations really helps to lend that feeling of physics as you move through the air in ways that you haven't before. And the icing on the cake is going to be some really cool effects that we've added on top of all of that. So for example, when you start hitting, maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings. And then as you do your rolls and spirals, you build up more and more speed. There's going to be some screen effects on the display to indicate that you're reaching maximum velocity, which really adds to the overall kind of immersion and sense of reality.
I really needed to know
As
that.
players make their way through the Dragon Isles, they'll discover new cosmetic options to fine-tune their Dragon Isle Drake's appearances. Things like snoots, horns, tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor, and more.
Can I have spikes?
Definitely.
How to train your dragon.
We want to provide players with all new skills to play with, as those who can use their momentum well can reach higher and higher heights and bring on new, more difficult challenges.
We just have so many new gorgeous options to choose from, and I'm just so excited for all of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to work on, but I can't wait to actually get in the game, play it with you guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait to fly around Dragon Isles. This
This
great.
is so
Next up,
refreshing.
you're going to hear about the talent revamp and the UI changes coming in Dragonflight.
It's weird.
That's why I like it.
Hello, my name is Brian.
I'm Crash.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Laura. We are very excited to share we are finally revamping the WoW HUD UI.
And it is also time for a major revamp to talents and specializations.
I have a
I'm
big
so
question
worried
for you.
about this.
How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
Close, 18 years.
18 years.
18 years. Wow.
You know, technology has changed a lot
The
since
dude
we
on
made
the
the
right,
UI back in 2000.
it's like a
now you
home
have
brand
like bigger
Swiftie.
monitors, and us, we have better dev tools to work with. So it makes sense to have the revamp right now. Also, if you look at the game today, the art evolved beautifully over the years. And if you look at the HUD looks like it got frozen time.
So when we approached this, we wanted to create
a layout experience that players could customize, move things around, adjust it to fit their needs.
Add-ons today, they do a
changed
lot
the
for
HUD.
player customization.
The downside
original
is that
RuneScape
not
HUD
everybody
had
uses them. It's about time
charm.
that everybody has the opportunity to use them,
sort
that
of
they become a part of the
removed its
base
charm.
UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed
Can't
us to
believe there's
add
gonna
new
be- there's gonna be
functionality
add-ons
to
for
improve
original
accessibility in a lot of areas. And on top of that, we are going to be improving the art.
Yeah, so the art update, it's a big part of this project. The UI that we have today has a lot of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years. So with that in mind, we want to respect the players who really like the current UI, but do a modern take to it, removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the action bars and the bottom menus,
What do you think?
They have less head frames, and you can really open up
I'll
your
let him
gameplay.
finish.
So you don't have a lot of your UI in
Okay.
front of you. And of course, we want to find iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it back in a nice way. So we for sure updating the Griffins. They look so nice now. And the Horde, don't worry, we got you. We're going to have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We are putting a
that's
mode
cute.
in that will let players
That's
move
cute. I like that.
various HUD elements around on the screen.
So I'm able to move the mini-map, say, from the right corner all the way over to the left corner. If I want to bring my action bars from the
Whoa.
bottom and kind of put them more in the center by my
like-
character, those are all
it's
things
like
that I'll be
Final
able
Fantasy
to do.
did this
Absolutely.
a
And each
decade
of those
ago.
different components will
Oh
have
my God.
various sets of options that you'll be able to work with. They'll be able to save it, edit it, copy it, name it. Also, it'll remember which spec you're in. So if you're someone who jumps around a lot, as you switch, it will switch to whatever
That
HUD
should
layout
be
you
a
have for that
standard. If
spec.
it didn't do that,
This is
that'd
an
be very
ongoing
annoying.
project. We're going to keep working on it. So we really want to hear back from you.
A project that we're all excited about that we've been collaborating a lot on is something that's pretty UI intensive,
So,
and
what
that's
do you
the
think?
talent system.
It hadn't changed in a long time,
I like
you
it.
said before. And we
You like
really
the vision?
started with
Yeah, I don't-
how
I
can
don't
we
think it's
have
bad.
players have more choice over what their character has?
As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability, something that kind of makes you stronger, but it's determined by the designers. We decide the order.
Yeah, we started looking for a system that would give players a much wider set of options.
And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees. But it's actually two trees. We have a class tree that offer different class utility, and then we have a spec tree that is focused on performing your role, whether that's damage, tank, or healing.
Can I just jump in and say that I personally am super excited about having trees come back. There's a big nostalgia hit for me.
As we said, we have these two trees because we feel like
If you
picking
forget
a
the fact that they're talking
specialization is a
about
really
talents,
important
the
part
out of
your
context
World of
tree
Warcraft
talk
character
is
now.
just
And so we
comical.
want to make sure that when you choose that, it kind of affects the tree in some way.
Yeah, as soon as you open your talent tree, you'll see something
There we go,
new.
talent tree.
The class side will have some abilities filled out for free, just kind of starting you off in that spec you've chosen, but then you'll have your first point to spend in the class tree, which could be something related to that spec or role, or it could be something from elsewhere in the class.
There's a lot of things that we can do here, and
So
part of
every
that is
spec
encouraging
has, like,
players to perhaps
your-
make combinations that they've
your
never really been
mage
able to see in the game before.
talents,
This is
but
an
then you'll have
opportunity
your
to put a
fire
lot
talents, your
more
frost
art and
talents, and your
fantasy
arcane
in the
talents.
actual talent UI itself.
You have seen that a lot through most
I can see
recent
that being
expansions,
very well.
but not the
We'll
base
see how
UI.
it actually
We
works.
want you to be able to tinker with it. You know, we want you to be able to make a lot of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into, and so one of the things that we'll be preserving is the ability to change these talents at the same kind of frequency that you do now.
Yeah, the old school players, when you see trees this time, just think, yeah, I'll go from my raid night to my arena match and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your
Nice.
build, name it, save it, and then load it up very quickly and freely.
I need that.
Talents were really about the breadth of options. We've made all these different cool things over the years, but when are they at their coolest? It's when players can hold the building blocks of what can make up their class, their spec, and put them together in a way that works for them.
So these are really cool features that we've been working long and hard on, and we're very excited about them. And it's just an early preview of the things we've been doing. We can't wait to see the reaction that you have to them, and please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on them. And next up, we're going to talk about professions in Dragonflight.
Yeah, this.
You know what they haven't talked about? is leveling, and then you level.
Hi, I'm Joanna.
And
I'm Eric, and we're going to talk about our plans
they
for
said
professions
70?
in Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of World of Warcraft forever.
So Classic
and
is
they've
gonna
seen
have
lots
a
of
higher
really
level
cool incremental
cap.
updates over their life. But for Dragonflight, we want to do something a bit different. We really want to rethink professions and figure out how to make them part of your identity as a player.
I like
if
the
that's what
sound
you
of what
want.
I've heard.
We
so
really
far
want to
with
make
the
sure
professions.
that professions feel fun and relevant across all levels of gameplay.
That brings us to our first update, something that we're calling crafting orders.
Yeah,
If you want to
these.
have something crafted for you, but you don't have the skill or the right profession to do it for yourself, you can have it crafted through a crafting order. You can
I like
basically
this, but
browse
it also
any of the recipes that can be crafted,
another bit of
pick the one you want
communication
for yourself,
removed in the
and then you include some or all of the reagents needed for the recipe, including ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in person to do it right in front of you for you, or you can also go to an NPC and using an auction house-like interface, send the order out. If you're doing this, you can pick, do you want to send the order to anyone, sort of a public order?
Oh, you can
or
leave a
do you
note
want
for
to send it
them.
to your guild, or to a specific
that's
other
cute.
player. Maybe it's a
Okay.
friend who you know will be able to craft
That's
the item
all right.
really well for you.
If you
That's
are
very
really
important that
dedicated
you
to
can
your
leave a note.
craft, you're going to be the best at what you do.
One of the coolest things about this is the item you had crafted can also be soul-bound. In the past, you could only get your hands on crafted soul-bound items by having that profession yourself. Now anyone can have them crafted for them, which is really neat.
That's
and really
huge. That's
expands
massive.
the
That's
number of items that we
huge.
can provide that are really powerful because everyone can have them crafted through the crafting order system.
This is also really cool because it
I-
means as a crafter, you can start building your client base.
There's a
People are
lot
going
to
to come
think
back
about
to
with
you
that.
to get certain items. Maybe you're the best at making
You
it,
can be
or
a
you always
shop.
learn a little something extra. You're
That's
also
pretty
going to
cool.
be leveling up your profession. It's going to be really great.
So the first time you go to craft, you're gonna notice a lot of different things, but probably the biggest is the introduction of quality, both to your crafted items and your gathered reagents. Quality works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality, it's just gonna be better. For a piece of gear, that probably means a higher item level. If it's, for instance, a potion, that might mean a more powerful effect at a higher quality.
And we're doing a lot of new things in the UI. We've put a lot of work into it to make sure that the professions feel really special and unique.
And another thing you might notice in the crafting UI that's new is the introduction of stats, specifically to your professions, both crafting and gathering. And this is another sort of major input into quality. Probably the biggest source of your ability to craft items at a higher quality is through crafting specializations. We've had crafting specializations in the past, as far back as original World of Warcraft. With Dragonflight, you can go out and earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways. So maybe you find an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin somewhere, or a hermit in a cave who can teach you a little bit about your profession. So let's say you're a blacksmith. You might decide that first you want to become an armor smith.
RPG.
And the more
This is a
points
very
you spend in
classic
armor
RPG
smithing,
thing
the
to
better
do
you're going to
for
get at
professions.
crafting
Yeah.
all armor.
This also means that
that's
if you
great.
specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in a completely different path. So this means that your guild could have several top blacksmiths and everybody is providing something unique and valuable to the team, which is really cool.
Now that reminds me of another update. We're actually adding crafting tables to all the different crafting professions. We're gonna take those and we're gonna put them all in the main city of Valdrakken. And you're gonna go in there and you're gonna get to see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
Yeah, it means you're
I
going to
haven't
walk
heard a
into the
single
city and you're
thing I
going to
don't
see
like
like all
about
these
the profession
alchemists
so
huddled
far.
over here, and you're going to see all these blacksmiths over by the
Excellent.
forge. There will
Excellent
be other
job.
players filling orders or grabbing orders. There's going to be a whole new crafting area that's going to make you feel really part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively area than it has in the past.
What I'm most excited about, though, is the gear. We're introducing new types of gear for every profession, and when you go to,
Oh,
say, mine and
wow.
node, you're actually going to just switch into that
This
gear.
is a
It's gonna
role
be really
player's
great.
nightmare.
You're not gonna have to carry
Not
that
nightmare,
stuff around in your backpack
hang on.
anymore.
Dream.
There's actually gonna be dedicated slots for each of your pieces of gear. But I'm a numbers guy. I love progressing. All pieces of profession gear will have those special stats that we mentioned before on them. And as you get your hands on better versions of the gear, it's really gonna help you get better at your profession.
I can't wait.
Ultra.
Thank you for
Profession.
tuning in to
It's
the
Final
Dragonflight
Fantasy,
Deep Dive.
dude.
You've heard a lot
I'm
about
never
the
gonna
content
raid
and
again.
changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store
I
for you in
can
the coming
finally
months.
play the
Until
game.
then, we'll see you in Azeroth.
Is that it? Was that it? Was that everything? I think that was.
That's a weird way to end.
Yeah, I know. They just ended it there. So hang on. If we go to World of Warcraft. Here we go down here.
Well, also open up their thing in a new tab. Okay, Dragonflight.
Subscribe now.
You're not logged on, so they want you to buy a subscription to WoW. Explore Dragonflight. What have we got?
Wow, that art is
Beta
really
opt-in,
nice.
do it. Do it.
Well, we just skipped all the
Oh,
details.
you're gonna have to log in.
No, I'm not.
Oh, thanks for signing up, Ultra.
Alright, let's see. What do we got here?
Alright, let's go over this. Wait, let's just unpack. Okay. I've got 3 questions for you.
Yep.
Alright. So, first question is, was this overall good or overall bad? Second question is, out of 10, what would you give the way they presented it? And the third question is, what was your favorite and least favorite part?
First question, good.
Okay.
Second question, 7.
7? So it was a pretty good presentation. I thought it was a kind of weak presentation. I'd give it a 5. I thought it was pretty average.
They went over the details pretty thorough. More thorough than I feel like they did. It was enough that there didn't have to be a Q&A.
Sometimes, but then some of their details, it was like, it's the Dragonflight, and when you're flying really fast, there's white streaks at the edge of your screen. Oh, thanks for those details.
But that was a whole
That's
segment
really
based on the dragon riding. Actually, if I open the Battle.net app now, does anything show? Nothing for the expansion yet. Oh, right there.
We don't have that viewed, but scroll
you
down
don't
on the
have that
webpage.
view, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Alright. Discover the Dragonars. The dragon flights of Azeroth have returned, called upon to defend their ancestral home, the Dragonars.
Oh, and your favorite part?
Favorite part? Oh. It'd be cheap to say the whole thing, because what it's doing, it's giving me mop vibes. Like, I feel like this is very experimental, and I like that. Because when I think Shadowlands and when I think BFA and even Legion to an extent, Legion was the right way, and then they kind of like veered off, and it was kind of like, okay, but now it's like, okay, scrap all that, fuck it all off. This is now what we're going to be like. We're going kind of back to the drawing board. This is the first time that I've actually, like, when I say back to the drawing board, that's what I genuinely feel like they did. Like, a lot of companies say that, and then it's like, well, did you really? But no, like, a whole reshaped UI, and on top of, like, a new class race. They didn't talk about how, like, mythic dungeons, they didn't talk about raids. That doesn't seem like their focus. Their focus is on everything outside of that, because it's like, yeah, you know those dungeons are coming, yeah, you know those raids are coming. It's like, cool.
Yeah
they didn't mention it once, like, and that's what.
But does that mean that they don't have it worked out yet?
Could be. But let's finish going through what we see here. The design is something else.
My least favorite thing is 2 things combined, and that is the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer was shit.
And the faces of the human dragons. The human dragon, not the dragon. And my favorite thing was the art.
Yeah.
Of the world.
Stunning.
And I really like what they're doing with professions. I love the idea of being able to play the game as a side character.
Yeah, and actually be relevant.
Yes.
I don't know about the dragon riding thing. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that will...
Gimmicky.
Yeah, like, you'll be over it after the first wave, like, patch. I sure as shit am not picking the Proto Drake. I will pick this one.
What's the other two? What's the next one? I don't like any of them.
I like this one. Just because I like the petrodactyl things that were in Mob.
Right.
Special moves, talented writers. So they seem to like give a shit about this, so it might be fleshed out like more than we think.
Yeah. Not flying through rings.
I hope there's a world quest where we do that. I hope there's several world quests where we do that. I want to do races. I want to race these things.
Continue to improve your dragon riding skill at max level by hunting down ancient cliffs.
Once you reach max level, you can conquer additional challenges all over the Dragon Isles to unlock even more customization. So it's really just a side thing. You don't have to really care about it.
I think so. So keep going down.
New content, the Dragon Isles.
Waking Shores.
Oh no.
That was underwhelming, that sound.
Yeah, I don't know why they were talking that up so much.
They were like, look at this beautiful thing, and it's kind of like blank grass with some
Yeah,
trees.
it's like you guys
no
have made
animals
this
at all.
zone like 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Here's your span.
This.
That's your home world.
I love it. This one is interesting. I couldn't get a grasp of what the full zone was like, so I'm very interested to see that. And this one will be good too. Look at the side of the screen. Look at that feature. Did you see how the thing went like this?
Yeah, that was...
Well, that was a feature.
Like, how much can they really hype it up, right?
I know. Wait, it's going to happen again. Scroll back up. There it is. Whoa! Keep going. New talent system. Professions in crafting. New HUD interface. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. New level cap 70. New raid. Venture into the ancient prism of the primal incarnates before the malevolent power can be unleashed against the dragon aspects. Fight to reclaim.
That is so broad and bland and not specific to any lore.
Yeah.
That is written like they haven't worked it out yet. What the
Explore
crap?
previously unknown chambers of Alderman. Interesting.
Defend the life pools of the dragonflight and more. Scroll up, look at the cinematic stills, sorry. Go to that last one. The last cinematic still, sorry. Up right. Yeah. It's... You said it when you said it looks like a Hearthstone cinematic.
No, it looked like Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm cinematic. What the crap is this? This is... The art style looks not the realistic grit that we are used to. And we didn't see her human form. Imagine if we saw her human form. You know, the form that we all recognize.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Disappointing.
I can't, like, the only bummer of that whole thing was just the cinematic to me. Like, that cinematic was so crap.
But also, they didn't tie it at all to Shadowlands. Shadowlands is just completely forgotten about. At least when we went to BFA, there was a natural progression from BFA to Legion.
Yeah.
This, it's just like, oh, well, we don't know what to do with Shadowlands. Sylvanas did this and they did this, and the jailer actually did jack shit, and we just sort of threw him off. Goodbye. Alright, go to this new island. There you go, have fun. That's what it seems like.
I mean, we didn't really get too much lore, so there could be a pretty reasonable explanation, because we eventually have to leave the Shadowlands, so how they're going to do that, they didn't really talk about that. I think it's just, if they are just going to bin it.
Khadgar will pop up on your new UI.
So
He'll say, champion, head to the Dragon Isles, and you'll click a button, and you'll teleport onto the boat, and they'll completely forget about Shadowlands, and Ice Crown Sky will be broken for another 2 expansions until they bother to change.
So funny you mentioned Khadgar. He did pop up in 9.2.
Oh, really? What did he
He
do?
pissed off to the markets.
To the markets?
Yep, Tazavesh markets, where all the brokers and stuff. He's like, a lot of knowledge there.
Oh.
But he's in the
That's
Shadowlands now, so fucking he should stay there.
Look at the look at the player character race again. What do you think?
I reckon it'll be one of those things I'll get used to pretty quickly.
The male is a blood elf. Look, go to the first one. The male is a elf.
Yeah, and the female's a human. Well, when you think about it, no, but then Alex Strauss is an elf, and so is Ysera.
Yep.
And the only elf is the bronze one.
They just look so out of place. They look like they're wearing horns on their head.
All I'm thinking is, how do you make a transmog on that look good?
This looks like an April Fool's joke. Right click and view the image. Look at that look at their faces. Okay. Change your plans, because this is annoying me. Go back to World of Warcraft main page. There's something else you should click on. Main page. Oh, you're on Dragonflight.blizzard. Okay, look up at the top there, top middle of the page.
What am I clicking on? Just tell me.
Look to your right.
New WoW Classic.
Yes. Oh. Here we go. Now this is an expansion.
Interesting that they just said 2022.
Yeah.
I like that like LFG and all that kind of stuff. That's not coming.
Yeah, excellent. Well done. You know what they should also remove? Ultra, that would really, really help.
What?
That they added in Whatlock, but they should remove altogether. Activision.
True. Think about it. When Wrath was current, Activision came in. Now Wrath is coming back, and Activision's
Microsoft's coming in.
Microsoft's coming in, kicking Activision out.
Yeah. Okay, so for the bingo, if you want to go to that tab.
Ah, yes. So
top right, Alex Strauss.
We'll go in order. So Illidan, nothing.
No.
Westfall Giant Shell, nothing.
So disappointing. They could have.
What wow, VR, we're dreaming. Alex Strauss is back. Tick. Microsoft.
Yep.
Do you reckon we saw a lot of Microsoft influence on the design choices?
Yeah, maybe. They might be like, hey guys, people are a bit confused about the Shadowlands stuff. Can we have a totally new thing that brand new players can hop into? Because brand new players are confused about Shadowlands. Remwest Temple, I half ticked that because it wasn't in the cinematic, but they did speak about it.
They mentioned it. Curveball. The
whole freaking thing was a curve.
I think this is a half tick because the start of that fucking cinematic was a curveball.
Yes.
Whatlock Classic, obvious.
Yep.
They didn't mention the mobile game. Now I'm just puzzled on what the mobile game could possibly be.
I'm more excited for the mobile game than... I was going to say this cinematic, this expansion, but no.
No, I'm
interested.
I'm pretty excited for this expansion, but I think I always will be. So
they got to show me some good reason why we're going here, because we don't know why we're going to the Isles yet.
We're going because
we don't know why we're leaving Shadowlands.
Yeah, we'll get there. There'll be some logical explanation.
We don't even know why the dragons are coming back to the Isles, let alone why we're going along with them.
Well, I don't know why we're going along with them, but they said the dragons are back at the Isles because that beacon that fucking stone dude like put together is like a beacon of recall, because they said when the elements erupt from the Dragon Isles is when it's time to bring back the dragons.
Right. That doesn't explain anything to me, though. So I still count that as they haven't told us yet.
Yeah, they didn't go into lore at all.
Thrall involved? No. But he still could be. He still very well could be.
He was in the Prezzo, so maybe. I don't know. Time skip.
Time skip? Maybe.
That's like
still maybe
20% they did a time skip because the start of the cinematics at 10,000 years ago. Dragon Isles, tick. Alternate timeline mod? No. Big no. Emerald Dream? Teased it.
Yeah.
Dragon people? Fine. The sword's still there.
Hey, Ultra, we just watched the new World of Warcraft expansion. There's a new race. Do you remember the name of the race?
They got a weird name.
Oh, you don't remember the name of the race?
It's like Drak'Thin or Drak something.
Guess what they're gonna be called from the community?
Dragon people.
They're dragon people. You click explore Dragonflight, yeah.
So, oh yeah, Drak'Thir.
What a crap name.
I don't know, man. That's a weird name.
Dominate the Dragon Isles as a newly awakened Drak'Thir evoker. World of Warcraft's first ever playable race and class combo. I don't know what. Oh, race and class. Okay.
Well, I'm glad I reserved my name.
Spywo.
Spywo. It's so bad.
Alright. I will say this. I'll definitely make a WoW VR map of that beautiful landscape. The one in the background here.
And you just got to have a dragon that does that bombing, and it goes straight through the map. Like you put no collision on it, just you press a button and you watch the dragon just slowly descend and then just pick up speed. Drop down.
This is still pretty early on because I'm looking at all the videos they showed of all the landscapes, and there's like one or two creatures, but that's it. There's no critters at all.
What?
There's no flowers. There's no herbs.
Well, the same thing happened with Shadowlands. They only showed off like Bastion and Ardenweald, and it was like, okay, like we don't know what creatures live here. Yeah, we won't see shit until the beta. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. They didn't annoy me, and they didn't make me mad. I'm not like, why do they do this? I'm just sort of confused, you know?
Yeah.
So that's alright. And the logo.
Yep.
I really like it.
First time they've really done something like that.
Yeah. Weird abrupt ending to
the presentation,
the whole stream. Weird abrupt ending to the weird drawn out cinematic. Well, we got about 15 seconds of World of Warcraft looking stuff, which was one dragon. And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a different art director on that cinematic.
Yeah.
Shit.
But when you think about it, with what they showed off with the game, like how else could they have told this story via cinematic?
Okay. Here is a better option. You start off CGI Remwest Temple. You're closing in. No, you start off looking at Ice Crown from Remwest Temple and the sky, and it pans over around to Remwest Temple behind the camera. And it follows in, and you've got Alex Straza and all the other aspects that are still alive. You can see they are ending a brief meeting that they had. And then they turn into their dragon forms, all in CGI. And then they start flying over the ocean. And then the camera cuts to that stone dude 10,000 years ago. And he's like climbing. And then it cuts back to Alex Straza flying over the ocean as she's doing her monologue. And then it cuts back to him climbing 10,000 years ago. And then it cuts back to her flying and she continues the monologue. And then you have the ending. Isn't that a hell of a lot better?
Yeah, but what about the pretty dancing from Alex Straza?
Alex Straza.
They should have just they should have just played that. They could have saved a lot of money. Alright, well, that was that. Dragonflight and Wrath in the same announcement.
It's weird. I would think I'd have more to say about it, but I'm not really mad and I'm not really excited. This is something to think on, for sure. And I think because it's kind of 3:30 a.m. for us, I bet tomorrow we're both going to be like, oh shit, we both missed this and we missed that. Oh, we weren't even paying attention to that properly. Little things. I think we'll see that we didn't notice at first.
I think we got majority of it. I'm probably most looking forward to that profession system. I actually really like the idea of putting up work orders and stuff like that and fulfilling them. Like, I think that's such a cool idea.
I like the idea of possibly, and this would be very guild dependent on how their social aspects work in the guild. I love the idea of being part of a raiding guild and never attending the raids, but being a role that is played by getting, focusing on my profession so I can have the highest quality, say I make the highest quality raid pots that anyone else does because other people are busy trying to do their raiding and I'm focusing on my alchemy, right? And then I'm part of the raiding team as a support group that doesn't actually go on the raids, but I make the best stuff for the raid team to go. Now, not all guilds are going to do that. They'll have people that are, doing everything all together, but that will be something that could and definitely will happen now, and that's awesome. I love that. That's a different way of looking at endgame content. I'm about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay. Well, thanks for dragging me along to this.
Yeah.
Should we do a follow-up video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
there's a lot
That
to
sounds good.
kind of go through on this. Like, and again,
If
we're
you-
reading it tomorrow. We're probably gonna see things we missed. Exactly that. Like,
Yeah. If you give me the video, I'll see if I can chop it up a bit and do a highlights there.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot more talking than I was expecting, so I did want to talk to you more during the stream, but we also didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
So we didn't speak as much because it was just.
There was too much interesting stuff to listen to. Too many changes.
Yeah. So definitely we'll see about a highlights video as well. Yeah.
And?
No, I said man. I'm looking at this World of Warcraft Dragonflight.
It's still not sitting with me right for some reason. I don't know what it is.
No, it's not. It looks fan-made, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, like it doesn't look like Blizzard.
No, it doesn't look like Blizzard. And maybe that's what Blizzard needs to do right now. I'm hesitant that they're going so off course in some regards. But that could be a very good thing. That could be a very, very good thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This is definitely like I couldn't get around the Shadowlands story and stuff. This is definitely an expansion where they're like, hey, come back. Easy, new place. Oh, you remember the dragons? You remember this? You remember this? Okay. New story. You don't need to know all this other stuff behind it, right? In order to understand it. You don't need to watch 20 different Marvel movies in order to get this movie.
Yeah, and it's
So-
like a clean slate. That's what I mean. I think that's where I'm coming from when I say that it's got this mop feel to it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And the same thing with Mop. I remember thinking, well, one, the Mop cinematic was also different art director. Really didn't feel like WoW. Except the very last part of the cinematic was good.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, but they're not going to tie this well, and they're just sort of running off with it. They ended up tying it well, right? The Cataclysm made the turtle thing, the shores open up, right? The mists of Pandaria, right, were revealed from the Cataclysm.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. If they can do something like that with Dragonflight, tie it well for me, I could get behind it. Yeah. All right. Okay.
All right, we'll wrap it up there.
I think we should end it there, but I'm still gonna I'm gonna see what 400 other people think.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Thank you very much, Ultra.
Thank you all for attending or rewatching, whatever you did. More content definitely to come, especially on the actual game. I'd love to do some more stuff on the actual game itself, being so into it. So, recently dinging 70 on BC was definitely the right move. Now that I'm seeing Wrath of the Lich King pop up, that was the entire goal. So, yeah. All right, awesome. Again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Cool.
Yeah, do you